some new Skylanders Youtooz information has just come out, and so I figured that I'd take the time to go through, look at all the information we've got so far, work out what we know, what we can guess, and what is likely and not likely for us to see from the Youtooz drop. So starting off with the first announcement that we got of this even happening goes back to last year. I believe it was in like October, when we had this Youtooz Reddit AMA, where one of the questions asked was Skylanders figures, and as you can see, the Youtooz account responded saying Skylanders will come out early next year. You probably heard about this. It was really big when it was like first revealed. The community sent shockwaves everywhere. It was a big deal, but then not really much came from it for a while. But moving forwards from that, we did then get this tweet from this guy from the Youtooz Twitter account with Skylanders with the thinking emoji, and this was just before April 1st by 4 minutes. So that wasn't like April Fools. That was them saying Skylanders. So we know that we're getting closer. Then, just 2 days later, they posted this. A art piece, whatever you call it, concept art of Stealth Elf, which, if you ask me, confirmed our first figure. We are going to be getting a Stealth Elf plushie. I say plushie, I'll get to that in a minute. I believe we are going to be guaranteed a Stealth Elf plushie from the Youtooz drop. This is also good, right? A few days apart from the last one, they've announced one of the figures that's going to be coming out. This is big progress in the right direction. But it doesn't end there either, because then there was another Reddit AMA from Youtooz with some more Skylanders questions, obviously, because now people in the community are interested in it. So the people are asking. On this post, someone asked saying, "Why Skylanders?" And there was one saying, "It's an awesome series, and there's a lot of community hype for it." Man, I wonder how they figured that one out. Real geniuses at the Youtooz team. Round of applause. This person asked, "Will the Skylanders wave be getting vinyls?" Which, makes a good question to ask. We want to know what we're actually getting. And they said, "We'll start with plush, then vinyl, all going well." I assume that means if all going well. I think I just left out the word there. And so, to me, it suggests that we're going to get a set of plushies, and then if they sell, then they'll release a set of vinyls as well. That's what I gathered from that. If you gathered something different, let me know. Then the next one said, "Will the Skylanders Youtooz feature NFC tags? Will they work on the portal?" No. No, they will not. Which was expected. I highly doubted that this would happen anyway. I mean, it's always possible, but it'd be such extra effort for Youtooz to produce that, and there's just no real need. So I can see why they're not doing that, because obviously most of the people buying them are going to have the figures anyway. So it's not really like they need it. Another one on here about Skylanders. Not really a question, but as the guy asked about Skylanders in the last AMA, it has really caused a big stir in the Skylanders community. Indeed it has, especially in the past month. They're apologising on our behalf, so shout out to this person. Yeah, we've made a big deal out of it because it is a big deal. We've not had anything official from Skylanders for years, so Youtooz is a big announcement. And as you can see, Youtooz responded saying that they hear us, they see us, and they appreciate the excitement, which to me sounds like good news. That sounds like things are going well, and fingers crossed we get to whatever milestone is needed for that vinyl. And if it goes really well, maybe it'll go further than that. But that's just my hopium. Okay, I'm not saying anything there. That's not confirmed. And then they also said, "Could we possibly ever get a rollerball plush?" Oh my day, what did I say? A rollerball plush figure. And they said noted, which to me suggests rollerball is not in this wave. I don't think. Obviously there's a chance that rollerball comes in the future, but I think based on how they said noted, I'm assuming that means not at the moment. Perhaps one day, but I don't think for now. The final question here was saying, "Will Chop Chop be given anything in the Skylanders wave?" And Youtooz has evidently said, "Too early to say," which, fair enough. Nothing is confirmed yet, really, to us. We don't actually know. But they'll keep the suggestion in mind. Shout out to Chop Chop. Which To me, that sounds more promising than the roller rule answer. Does that confirm it though? No. So I'd say Chop Chop is probably a coin flip. Roller rule, I'd probably say I'm like 20% out of 100 as to getting a character or a Youtooz figure. But Chop Chop, I'd say I'm about 50%. It could go either way. It's quite evenly split. But Stealth Elf, I'm 100% certain. But that's not where it all ends though, because today something else came out. But once again, on the Youtooz Twitter, we got just pick this game up with this picture. There's two key things here. I might be digging a bit too deep, but there's two key things that I'm seeing. First thing, this is Spyro. These are just, obviously these are other figures. This is Spyro. This is not like the Skylanders cover art Spyro. This is a different Spyro. So I believe this is a Spyro like concept for what we're going to be getting, like roughly looking like that. I don't know, but I'm thinking that's what I do believe. I did look at the shadow down here originally to see if there's like another thing behind Spyro, if that's just weird lighting. To be honest, I couldn't tell you. So nothing there, I don't think. But the other part I was thinking was, this is a Spyro's Adventure, like, what do you call it? Case, disc thing. Game case. You get what I mean? It's Spyro's Adventure. This isn't Giants, this isn't Stop Force, or Trap Team, or Superchargers, or Imaginate. This is SSA. And I could be digging too deep on this, I could be reading like between the lines a bit too much. But to me, that suggests every character we're gonna get is gonna be a Spyro's Adventure character. I don't think we're going to be getting any later games. We could do. Obviously, as I said, I could be digging in too deep here. But I predict that we're going to get like 3, maybe like a bit more figures. But I think 3. I think it's going to be Stealth Elf, Spyro, Gilgrunt, maybe Trigger Happy. But I think that's all we're getting for this one. And I think if it does well, they'll probably come out with more because, money, Mr. Krabs. When you're a business and you get money, you do it again, but better. That's sort of how this thing works. So I suspect that, there will probably end up being more of them, assuming that they sell well. But I think for this drop specifically, I think we are getting Stealth Elf. I'm almost certain on Stealth Elf. Spyro. I'm almost certain on Spyro. Gilgrunt. I'm like 80-90% sure on Gilgrunt. Trigger Happy, I'm like 70%. And I think that's all we're getting for this first drop. Maybe more, maybe less, I don't know. But I think that there is more to come. I think the way they've hinted at this all through these posts and stuff, I think they're quite open about it. Obviously, we were never going to get the whole Skylanders roster as Youtooz. That'd be impractical and wouldn't make any sense. So they're just going to pick the fan favourites, they're going to pick the iconic ones, which is why I said the ones that I said. And that's why I'm also less certain on Chop Chop, because while Chop Chop is very iconic among the community, like outside of the community, if you think of Skylanders, I don't think Chop Chop is one that comes up to people's like thoughts straight away. I think the key ones are Stealth Elf, Gilgrunt, and Spyro. Maybe Trigger Happy. So, I do wholeheartedly believe those are the 4 or 3 that we are getting. As new information comes out, I might post more about it, depending on how important it is. I'm not going to post every time they release something new, because, this would be posting nothing burgers every 5 minutes. But this is what we know so far. If I've missed something, let me know in the comments. If you've got any theories, let me know in the comments. That is my take on the Skylanders Youtooz. Follow my Twitter, because I retweet all the tweets that they put up about it, so you'll see it all there. And you'll get my Epic Gamer takes on other Epic Gamer stuff I like to tweet about on X the Everything app. But now I've said that sentence, I'm going to go and bury myself in a hole, and I'll see you guys next Monday, resuming normal uploads. Or every day in between with a short. That's all. Thanks for watching, and goodbye.